Oh, is it recording? Good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Gloria Pope here with Black Girl Everything. I am here with the beautiful Tahera. I'm sorry. How do I pronounce your name?
Tahera, like the Sahara Desert with a T.
Oh, that's cute.
Thank you.
Beautiful Tahera. You see, we're going to learn a little bit about her business today. So, Tahera, where are you from?
I'm originally from Oakland, California. I currently
Oh,
live in Mission Viejo, California.
oh, really? I don't even know where that is in California.
It is a suburb far, far away from reality.
Oh, that's why I don't know what it is. It's an
Right.
outlet. I've heard it before.
It's on a need to know basis.
Okay. Well, how long have you been there?
We've been here about 4 years, but I've been in Southern California for about 20 years.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
bad.
My whole adult life.
Yeah. So, what is the name of your business?
LoveAmourPropre. It's not proper or propre, as some of my friends like to say, but Amour propre means self-love in French.
That's yeah, you did tell me that, and that's when I fell in love. I was like, that's so cool. So, what made you come up with that?
So I've been on a self-love journey for the last 3 years of my life, and I really wanted to understand why I made some of the decisions I made in my youth. And discovering that I was missing that self-love piece
Got it.
inspired me to create a line of products that I could love my public through something like outside of service. We were born out of the pandemic because I used to run more service-oriented product or service-oriented I was service oriented. And then I figured out
Okay.
how to still service my community
Hmm.
from my home. And so then I started creating products and I sent them out, and they were all based on loving oneself. And it's been a beautiful journey so far. We'll be one in March of this year. So
Congratulations.
thank you.
Yeah, so many people have started businesses during the pandemic, myself as well. Really, about right now, it's been about a year ago since the idea came in my head. I was like, I'm going to do this,
Yep.
and then I started things. But I legalized in June of last year. But yeah, so it's just been great, especially for Black women. I'm noticing that so many people have really started these businesses, and these businesses are doing really well.
Yeah.
So, kind of describe the type of products that you provide.
Absolutely. So I pretty much started off making smokeless smudge sprays, and people were like, well, what is that? Most people know about burning sage, but not a lot of
Okay.
people necessarily like the smell of sage or just the air. I'm not a smoker. I don't really care for it. And also, I love the fact that saging is an energy cleanser.
Mhm.
But I'm in a corporate position where I wanted to exercise the devil out of my workspace without burning something. So I used to use a smokeless smudge spray in my office cubicle to get away and work away all the negative energy around me. And I loved it so much. I was like, what's in this? And I decided
Yeah.
to make my own. And it started from there. My mom called me because she watches the news all day. I think this was about a month into the pandemic. She was like, you need to make hand sanitizer. And I was like, okay. So I looked up the ingredients for that. I had most of them. I started selling them, and I made 100. I think it was 120 orders my first 2 days of starting the business, and I made over $20,000 in my first month. So it literally gave me the capital to be able to make everything from soaps and lotions and bath bombs and yoni.
Definitely.
So now we have over 85 products and variations. And when I say we, I mean I, because I do everything. But this year, my goal is to launch into a distribution deal so that I am not the one manufacturing and mailing and marketing everything. I have an actual team behind me. So it's really exciting.
That is 85 products.
And it keeps growing. I've got more in the works. But my mind is always going. I get up in the middle of the night, I'm like, ooh, I need to try this. And, oh, I need a men's line. And oh, I need, it literally just never stops.
That is so amazing. So, do you have a website up and running now?
I do. My website is amourp.com, amourp.com. And I'm also on Etsy at LoveAmourPropre.
Okay, cool. So, how have you been doing for the rest of the year in regards to your products? I see you're constantly evolving. So, you must have consistent clientele at this point.
I'm so grateful for my repeat clientele. In fact, I just filled orders today of people who have literally been rocking with me since the beginning, just faithful folks that have, tried us once and love the products and keep coming back. So for me, that's a true testament to the business being the test of time, because I mean, it's nice to buy something once because you found out it was a Black owned business in Orange County, but to continuously buy means you actually like the stuff. So I was a chef in a former life, and I love to cook. And I, as a quarantined person, like everybody else, got gained weight as a result of eating all the goods. And I really figured that I could probably make more money making products that I couldn't consume that I could actually share with other people long term. So I learned all the kinds of concepts and the importance of preservatives and having shelf life and what
Yeah.
natural products work scientifically with other things. So it's been a huge learning curve, but so amazing and rewarding.
Okay, perfect. So what is your best-selling product right now?
That's a great question. I'm trying to get my top 10 that I want to distribute this year, but my best selling product is my sweet yoni. I am known as the vagina lady because I make all the vaginas of the world so sweet. And my sweet yoni is basically a oil. It's a sacred oil that has been Reiki charged. It's full of crystals and herbs to help tighten the vagina and vaginal muscles, the vaginal wall, as well as lubricate. And it's beautiful. It's scented with rose and lavender, and it's very gentle. And women love it. And so I cannot keep enough of it on the shelves. I've sold probably about 400 vials of it at $18 a pop. So I'm really pleased with it. And I want to continue to offer it and expand it. And I also do yoni wash. My yoni wash goes very well, as well as the yoni steam. So anything vagina, call me, I'm your girl.
Yeah, I just did my first vagina steam not too long ago in November when I was in Atlanta. It was a very enjoyable experience. I was like, oh, this is refreshing because you just feel so light and so brand new. And it's like for me, it's just like this whole thing about self-care and taking care of yourself from the inside and out, especially now during this pandemic. That's what we can do, right? Get all the toxins out of our body to help us be as healthy as we can be. So it's really interesting. I'm excited to find out you know what, after I get off this, I'm like, listen, y'all missed the thing. Y'all got to swatch it now because it has. Because I haven't even had the chance to really explore your website and actually purchase your products. And that's definitely something I'm going to be doing this evening because those are things that I need. And I'm happy that you're doing so well. You was popping.
It's popping real. You know what? It's crazy. And I'll just tell you a side story. I was so afraid when I first came out with this concept and with the name. It's a French name. I didn't put my picture on my website. I didn't want people to assume anything about the business and the product. And then the Black Lives Matter movement happened, and literally it exploded. People were like, this is a Black-owned company, and people were reaching out to me, and it actually made it better. So I was really grateful to get such a diverse audience because I offer everything from goat milk lotion and soap to, like I said, yoni products. So I get a diverse amount of people, and I'm just happy that this business is appealing to all types of people. I get the old lady in Idaho and the young girl in New York that use my products, and I've literally been in every single state and abroad. So it's pretty exciting to see how expansive it's going and where it's going to take me in 2021.
Wonderful. So what do you think has been your key thing towards your marketing and actually getting it out there? I think it's your name, by the way. But what do you think?
Well, I feel the name is great. So first of all, I have to give all the credit to my husband, who is really good at naming things. I just knew I wanted to promote self-love, self-care, self-esteem to women.
Yeah.
And that was my audience, and that was my focus. And he was like, I don't care for that name. I was like, okay, well, help me out. So he came back with the concept because he's a thesaurus guy, and he was like, this is the name. And I was like, great. So then I got all these people, let me do your logo. I'm like, I don't really feel like I need a logo. I feel like it's itself. I mean, the little heart at the end was my little flair and touch, and it's evolved over time. But just when people find out what it means, they're like, oh my God, it's a reminder for us to love oneself and take care of oneself. And then the rest of it is I have full creative control. I'm a very creative person, so I'm always thinking about what I want to see. How do I want to be pitched to as far as sales? And marketing is everything. So from my labels to my minimalistic approach. Some of my things are more elaborate. I pitch to the product and how it makes me feel, what it smells like, and going based on that feeling, I put it out there, and then I get responses and I tweak according to what my audience is interested in. But I should say in a former life, I'm going to say that a lot just because I've had a lot of former careers. I was a DJ. And DJing is feeling the crowd, doing what people are popping their ass to, and what I'm ready to, switch the music to make sure the girls stay on the floor. So it literally helped me to create a business model based on my corporate past, all of my entertainment past, and kind of bring it, and of course, my love journey, bringing that all together into one concept. And I've literally flooded all of my energy towards it, and it's been very rewarding.
Very good. What's your sign?
I'm a Gemini.
I knew you were. I knew it. I'm like, yo, she's a Gemini. I'm telling you, you guys are so creative and you transform very easily, obviously.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, she must be a Gemini. I don't know.
It's funny.
My best friend is going to be very excited to find that out that you're a Gemini. She's one of my favorite Gemini people in the world besides my daughter. So I think you're number 3, though. You're very close, number 3.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
It's cool because, you know, a lot of people that look at me as like I do so many different things and I'm so able to move forward, you know, but they also, I'm happy that you also realize the fact that so much part of your life has influenced who you personally are now.
Yeah.
And all these experiences that you have had have brought you to this point where honestly you're becoming very successful. And not even becoming, you are very successful, I should. Very successful at this point with your business. And it's just only a year in. Figure out how much further you're going to go once you actually start making real revenue and start getting into more marketing outside of that, especially because you're already mainstream with multiple communities, which helps.
Yes. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And it's funny, the very same thing you said to me just now, I said to my baby daddy when I was 20. I was like, wait till I'm 30. I'm about to be the bomb. And I wasn't lying. But yeah, he figured
it. Listen, people don't be waiting and they don't be knowing. Sometimes you gotta give time to evolve. Evolution is key.
That is key.
It's key. I'm telling you, I didn't start living my best life until I was about 33, 34.
Yep.
Before that, I was playing around. Everything I did was to play. You know, I took life halfway serious, and then now I'm like 40. I'm like, yeah, I got this. Yeah. You know,
better. Mm-hmm.
Nah, this is the way it is. But you know, my past, my lifestyles, everything I went through, has helped me get to where I am now, and is making it work for me, which is definitely cool. So, where do you see yourself going in the future, like the next 5 years?
That's a great question. So if you'd asked me this 6 months ago, I'd be like, I don't know. I'm beyond the territory of chartered waters that I could have even imagined in my mind. But my accountant gave me a financial goal for this year. So I plan on tripling, if not quadrupling my business this year. And, well, my trademark agreement is almost done. Praise the Lord. And then working on my distribution deals. I'm narrowing myself down to my top 10 products that I want to develop and mass distribute, and then marketing like crazy people, eventually doing television and radio spots. And so in the next year, this whole thing should really explode. By 5 years from now, I not only want to be in every single Target, Neiman Marcus, the Macy's, and all the mass stores that people can get this, but I want my first flagship store within the next year and a half. And I want franchises all over the country and eventually the world, because I got to get to France. I mean, that's kind of my goal, is to get to France, because hello.
See, why not, right?
And Black France is like popping. So I want to be a part of that community as well.
Wow, that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
That's really inspiring.
I
really like you.
I always write my goals down. First of all, I'm a big vision boardist, and I'm a big writer. I've written 3 books and published 3 books. I'm working on my 4th, and you have to visualize not only the things that are possible, but I visualize the impossible. I always tell my kids, if you don't have at least 10 outrageous goals, like stupid stuff that just feels like it shouldn't happen, then you're not doing yourself a good service. And so,
wow.
Over the top, like I want a yacht, and it's got to be at least 100 feet. I'm not even in the water like that, but damn it, I deserve a yacht. So I don't know why it's in my head, but it is. $223 million. That's what I expect in my bank account. I don't know when it's going to happen. I just know it's a part of my future. You know, I'm going to have my own show. I'm going to have my own podcast. I'm going to have franchises. This business is going to take my family out of poverty and give us generational wealth I couldn't even imagine. Like I know that, and I've put goals in place to help make that a possibility. And so I love doing interviews like this, because it's an opportunity for me to share. I don't want to just have all this and know all this. I want other people to duplicate this, because somebody helped me, you know, and so many people have helped me to give me ideas and inspiration, to utilize my creativity to get myself to that next level.
Great. So now let's flash back, because you said you're an author. I love authors, by the way. Authors are my favorite people. Ever since I wrote my dissertation, I'm like, I have this diehard love for what you guys do, authors, right? So tell me about your books. I didn't know that you wrote too.
Yes, like I said, in a former life, I've done so many things, but that's the cool part about being a creative. You ride waves and figure out what you like, and then you just hop off when you're done with it, and you move on. Because everyone's like, you need to focus on one thing. I'm like, nope, I've been in a box for too long, and dun, dun, dun. So I'm busting out, and I'm trying it all. And if I fail, I fail. That's part of winning and succeeding.
Mm-hmm.
Over and over and over and over again. So my first book, it took me 8 years to write. It's called How to Deal with Your Baby Daddy, A Woman's Guide to Effective Co-Parenting and Preservation of Self. Yes, it's a long title. I was young and it was my first book. But this book really helped me to manage why I ended up in a situation with a man and a child that was loveless and did not serve my well-being ultimately. And I had to figure out in the book, you would think how to deal with your baby daddy. Well, what do you got to do to deal with him? You have to learn how to deal with yourself and figure out what is deficient within self that you needed to fill that hole with someone who could not fulfill you. And it's helped so many women. I'm just so grateful that I've been able to utilize that piece. I go into well, I haven't in the last year because of the pandemic, but before a pandemic, I went into homeless shelters and halfway houses and rehab centers, and I gave away my book, and I would talk to these women and, help the least of these, because to me, that's ultimately what I went through for, and I'm able to utilize, my experience to help the next person who's trying to get to the next level of their life. So it's been great. It's been published for, I want to say 7-8 years now. And on Amazon, if you're ever interested. My second book was a children's book I wrote for my husband and my daughter at the time. And it's called That's My Daddy. And it was just a cute little banter between the two of them and pictures. It was a father's book for them. And then my current book that I wrote last year is called A Safe Space for Us. It is a healing journal for women of color, because women of color just experience so many levels of issue and frustration, and we often don't have an outlet. So I actually created a retreat that I did, again, pre-pandemic, that I would bring a group of Black women together, and we would talk and cry and sing and laugh and dance and work out our soul salvation. Everything from Reiki healers to play therapy to singing, color, art, mountain walking, you name it. And I created a journey to go along with that experience, and it's kind of taken a life of its own. So my next book that'll be coming out this year is called My Journey to Happy, and it's more of a journal type, but it's really focused on general happiness. What creates happiness? How do you get to the next level of happy for yourself, regardless of your circumstance? How can you contribute to your own happiness going forward? And I feel like with this pandemic, so many people experience depression. They're so down on themselves, and it was one of the best life. And I know the difference for me is my mindset. So it's a lot of mindset training, focusing on how to achieve your goals instead of because of it. So yeah, I'm just every year I want to publish a new book and get a new concept out. I got another book coming out in a couple of years called Teens, Tweens, and Toddlers: A Mother's Guide to Effective Parenting. All these concepts come to me in the middle of the night, and I'm like, I gotta do something about it.
Just post this on my wall. These are all my concepts that come to me in the middle of the night. And I put them on the wall because as I get things accomplished, they come down off the wall, one thing at a time. I'm big on that. I post this all over my office here because that's what I focus on. But you are so amazing. And the thing about me is I'm one of those people, like, I meet people, and then now you're part of my network for like the rest of my life. I'm going to follow you forever and do things with you forever, because I know now from like some of my other, because I'm a director of an early childhood program. I'm also the director of an adult education program. So like I do a lot of different things, and all the self-love and healing that you're talking about is so important within those communities. And each of your books, I know individuals who can utilize those books. Are all of them available on Amazon?
Everything's on Amazon. I self-publish. One of these days, Oprah's going to call me up and say, hey, I want you to be part of my book club. And I'm going to say, Oprah, absolutely, sis. I'm happy to be there for you.
Sure. Let me check my schedule.
I may have something with Gloria, but I think I can fit you in.
Exactly. But no, you are an amazing human.
Thank you.
Okay, it's beyond person. You're an amazing human, and your energy is so pure and so real. I'm just so happy that I had opportunity to speak to you, and learn about what you're doing and be able to share what you're doing and just promote you all over the place. Because that's what I do, actually. Because that's the purpose of this business, right? To promote and then suggest and help people gain more of their business and everything else like that. But we're going to be really communicating moving forward. I want to thank you so much for your time, but I want you to share with people how they can find you.
Absolutely. I am too Googleable. In fact, my 15-year-old said, Mom, I looked up your name and yeah, if people want to find you, they can, but I have nothing to hide. So
Uh-huh.
you can find me on my website, amourp.com, AMOURP as in Paul.com. I'm on all social media platforms at LoveAmourPropre, PROPRE. You can also find me at Tahera Renee. All of my blogs and personal everything, my family, we're just an outgoing bunch of crazy nut jobs, but we have fun, and you can always follow me on social media there as well. Also on Etsy at LoveAmourPropre there as well. And if you're interested in my podcast, I do have podcasts available on Anchor as well as on Spreaker at Tahera Renee, TAHERARENE. So feel free to follow me on all of that. I've got YouTube pages just at Tahera Renee. It's all over Pinterest, LinkedIn, all the stuff you didn't even think you thought of. I'm on all of it. So please follow, like, and subscribe, as my 6-year-old would say with her YouTube page.
Yes. God, I say to people all the time, it's not hard. It's like follow, share, repeat, follow, share, repeat, follow, share, repeat over and over again. I'm telling you, you do so much for people just by doing that simple thing.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
All right, everybody, but we're done for today. Thank you.
Thank you.